Hello, my name's Cal and welcome to a DJ School UK video. In the description of this video is a link to a super handy PDF with all the keyboard shortcuts and a link to get the free Serato DJ Lite software. In these videos we talk fast and pack in information, so rewind it as much as you need. Please use the comment section below to ask us questions. All comments are 100% moderated for safety purposes. In this video I'll be explaining bar counters, beat grids and what they are, do you have to start your song from a 1, and why you don't always have to beat match, and also why we don't use sync. So right off the bat, I'll start by saying this. I'm going to talk a lot, and I hope you're okay with that. So starting off with bar counters. Bar counters are these solid white lines that you see running through your track. It represents where the first beat of that bar is. A bar being where we count 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll notice that each white line has a little 1, 2, 3. That number represents what bar you are currently on. So us counting 1, 2, 3, 4 is 1 bar. If we count it again, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 2 bars. And so on and so forth. That bar number is going to rapidly increase as we go through the song. So if we have a quick listen now. Let's go now. You can see very quickly we got to bar number 4. So how does this help us with our DJing? Well, it's good to know what bar number you are on for the structure of your song. So knowing where you are means that you have a better chance of doing a good mix, or a better chance of knowing when something's going to change within your song. What I would like to share with you is another way to count. So a good way to count bars is counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, and so on. It's just so then you always have a mental reminder of what bar you are on. Another good thing to do is if you're planning your mix, you can say, okay, I'm going to do my mix at bar number 32 because X, Y, Z, or because something changes. Okay? It's just really handy to know where we are and what bar number we are on. Okay, so that was a little bit about bar counters. Now we're going to talk about beat grids. You can probably see them already. They're the little white lines that are in between the bar counters. These little white lines tell you what number you are on within that bar. So either a 1, 2, 3 or a 4. So if I load in another song, it'll show it a little bit more clearly. Here's our 1, here's our 2, 3, 4, 1. So we can visually see where we are counting. Now, I always do say this, use your ears, not your eyes, because sometimes it's correct and sometimes it's not. But you listening and you counting along will be more correct more of the time than the computer itself. So you can use these little white lines right here to help you count along to your songs. So when that little white line starts to pass there, you know now that's a number 2, that's a number 3, that's a number 4, and that's a number 1. So we can test that again. I'll just put this right back to the beginning and we'll play it. That's the wrong song. I do that every single time. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So you can see that each time that little white line passed, we was on the 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And each time we passed the 1, we saw a little number like this past the middle white line. With all that in mind, we should now always know where the 1 is, right? Not really. We have to remember that it's a computer that has analysed the songs, but it may not have done this correctly. Sometimes the computer will get it correct and sometimes not. So always use your ears before using your eyes. Just because the computer tells you, hey, this is the first beat of the bar, doesn't mean that it's always going to be correct. And that's the reason why I loaded in both these songs. So if you have a look, you can see that the computer's got this song correct. It's got this song right. You can see that it starts here. It's telling us, hey, look, listen, this here is the first beat of a bar. And you can see that it's correct. So it goes 1, you can see that, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then even the next bar, bar number 2, starts exactly where it should do. However, it's got House Every Weekend song wrong. So if you have a look at here, it's analysed House Every Weekend, but it's thought, hey, here's your first sound. This one is the first beat of a bar, and you can obviously see that's wrong. Every beat afterwards is missing these white lines. Now, that's tricky, because how then do you know? How do you know where the first beat of a bar is? How do you know what bar number that you are on? Well, that's for you to work out, isn't it, as a DJ? We know from previous videos that here, right there, is the one, because we've worked it out in the past. Therefore, we are going to have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth to know what bar number we are on, because we can't accurately rely on what the computer is telling us. So sometimes the computer is going to get it right, and sometimes it's going to get it wrong. Okay, so we need to make sure that we are checking our songs every time before we start DJing. So, do you always have to start from a 1? Simply put, no. But when doing this, we need to make sure that the first beat from both songs still lines up so the mix is in time, and that it respects the structure of the song. I'm going to show you how to do this with House Every Weekend, as it starts with that reverse sound that we talked about in a different video. That sound isn't the first beat of a bar. We found that out as well in an older video. Here's another way of counting. It's called counting the and beat. That's the beat in between 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 is how we will be counting. So let's count like that to Just Be Good to Me. 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So the counting is a little bit different, and I'd like you to practice that just because it will be really, really, really handy for future things. So what I'm going to be doing with House Every Weekend is trying to find out where this reverse sound actually lands. Where does it actually start? Because we know it's not the 1, so that means it's either 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and it could be any of those. Now, looking at these two songs with the BPMs being the same, I can see that it's quite close already to the 1 for Just Be Good to Me. We can see using our eyes that it's either going to be a 3 or a 4, or a 3 and, or a 4 and. Okay, so I'm going to go with a 4 first, just as a little bit of trial and error, and that is the key to learning how to do these mixes. It is trial and error, and it would be something that would be very difficult to do on the fly. So it's something that you might have to plan and practice a lot before playing it out to the public. So I'm going to play Just Be Good to Me, and I'm going to press play this time when I say the number 4, not the number 1, because I want to hear this unique sound to House Every Weekend. Okay, let's give it a whirl. So I'm going to press play for Just Be Good to Me. Can't start counting. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Ooh, so with a little bit of a nudge, I can get that in. Nice. So that tells me, let's stop this. So that tells me that I was really close. It could still be a 4 because it could have been user error, or it could be a 3 and. So let's go again. I'll give it one more try. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, so it happened the same. So I believe it's a 3 and that it starts on. Now I could still be wrong. That could still be just user error. It could be lag on the computer. It could be all sorts of different things. But I'm now leaning towards it being a 3 and knowing that I can practice my skills up to starting the song on the 3 and to get that iconic reverse sound. Okay, so let's try it one more time, and I'll try and get it on that 3 and. Now if I don't get it on that 3 and, I'm not going to worry. I'm going to quickly nudge it and use my ears to get it in time. Okay, so let's go one more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, that was terrible. I'm going to try that again because I really confused myself doing that. So it is a good idea to really practice this skill up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Alright, okay, so I still didn't quite get it, but hopefully you can see that by figuring out where this iconic sound is, we can decide what count that we need to do to start our song. Okay, so this is most likely a 3 and or a 4. Now, I struggled to get it on a 3 and, but that didn't stop me from doing it as a mix because I can quickly nudge the song in time. Okay? So don't beat yourself up if you don't get it the first time. Keep practicing that skill up to try and try and try. And the more you try, the more you practice it, the easier it will become. And the faster you'll be able to correct it if it goes wrong. But should you always beat match? It's a really good idea to be able to beat match, as it's the bread and butter for most DJs and most mixing, but it only works if both songs are the same BPM. And it lends itself to songs being produced on a computer. Reasons why you shouldn't always beat match are if you want to change genre, if you want to dramatically change speed, to mix between songs that can't be beat matched. There's probably more reasons than this. But if you're going to do an indie set, you might find it difficult to beat match due to the songs being played by humans. This means that they get excited, they get faster, and when they get tired, they get slower. The band share a pulse, changing speed where needed, meaning the BPM won't be consistent and will change slightly throughout the song. Because of this, cut mixing could really help you out. You can beat match too, but you'll always have to nudge the songs to keep them in time. Cut mixing at the correct time can be really helpful when beat matching is proving difficult. I did a cut mix in an older video. A cut mix is where I use the crossfader at the correct time to change from one song to the next very quickly. Okay, now that's a good idea to practice as well, and it will help you go from slow songs to fast songs to even just dropping in your favourite song unexpectedly. It's really handy. And when we get into scratching, which we probably won't do on intro or DJ Lite, but when you start scratching, it's really good to scratch your song in and then just drop it. It's really helpful and really handy. You can also change the energy and dynamic of your set and the energy in the room. So Callum, if I can't beat match, can't I just use sync? Yeah, you can. Sync's a funny one. It changes the BPM for you. Sync's here. It does have its place. We like to teach without it because we don't like to become reliant on using it. Another massive point is if you're syncing two songs with a big speed difference, a big difference in BPM, sync's going to struggle. Sync will then stretch or squash your songs to make them fit, making them sound not like the original, and it can make them sound bad, and we don't want to play bad songs. Okay. With using sync, it will only work if both songs are similar in speed. Now, saying that, it will also struggle with songs played by humans because of the ever slight changing BPM. It won't be able to figure out what BPM it is. My last thing to say is, when DJing at home, if you don't have any speakers, you may only be using your laptop speakers. These tend to be low quality. Use your headphones for better sound quality, but keep the volume to a reasonable level or you may damage your hearing. Okay? And on that note, it's time for me to end this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember you can rewind this video as many times as you see fit. Please hit that like and subscribe button so we can continue making more videos. And if you have any ideas or questions for future videos, please leave us a comment. If you'd like online lessons or if you'd like to donate to DJ School UK's non-profit work, links in the description for all that as well. Thank you so much. See ya.